What is up, everybody? Bleeding Blue Podcast, episode 70. We are at 70 episodes today. Today is the day. We have gone 70 weeks or so in a row of recording a podcast for the most part, sometimes more than once a week. Back in the summer, obviously, but yeah, that is pretty intense. That's a big milestone to hit. Obviously, when we get to 100, that's going to be the big one. But hey, you gotta take these little ones in stride, and you gotta look at these moments. Look back on where we were at the beginning, and now we're here, and now we're fully functioning podcast, talking all things Bills, Leafs, and Blue Jays. So it's very exciting. It's a lot of fun. But let's get right into it, and let's start talking about our Buffalo Bills, man. Holy shit. Yeah. I mean, you can't be mad. Obviously you're not. But
obviously I'm not mad.
Dude,
this is the best start to the season I've ever watched as a Bills fan.
Yeah,
and it's incredible to see.
Was there any doubt in your mind that they'd lose that game against the Chiefs? Was there ever a time when you were like, "All right"?
Yeah, there was times the lead kept changing throughout the game, so it was hard to decipher whether or not the Bills would not score, and then the Chiefs would go down again and score. But that's what it's like when the Bills play the Chiefs. If there's anyone has a chance at any time. Even when Josh Allen got the touchdown at the end with 2 minutes left and it was a 2-score game, I still thought the Chiefs had a chance to win. Even though it was basically impossible. I still thought the Chiefs could still pull it out. So every time with that team, there's always a chance that they can come back. But aside from all that, it was probably the most entertaining game so far I've watched this year for this team. I was so hyped for Josh playing fucking awesome. The defense played amazing too. Everyone contributed, and that's what you need to have when you beat teams like Kansas City. So I just thought they played great, and we're not going to be talking about them next week as much because they're on their bye week. But I think winning that game puts a whole new perspective on how the rest of the season goes on with the next 6 games, and I think without a doubt Josh is the MVP favorite, especially after Baltimore lost to Pittsburgh and Lamar didn't have his best game. I think Josh definitely is number 1 right now in MVP voting, despite the fact that Lamar beat him in week 4 and that's all bullshit. But I still think Josh is the best player in the league right now, and it shows because he's had players injured the whole season. Obviously Kincaid and Coleman didn't play this week, and he still beat the Chiefs, which is a feat in itself.
I would say that's where it brings me to my point that I'd like to make is I think we got to give our flowers to our wide receivers, man. Shakir, Amari Cooper, Mac Hollins, all had fucking great games. And even Amari Cooper, it's just watching the highlights and watching the catches that they were making. They're making all of these catches that they need to make, and it's what makes Josh Allen look so good too. They help with that, and it's just they played a dominant game. They played an aggressive game, I think, the wide receivers, and it showed because rather than having 2 tight ends, they went with 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end in Knox as the Bills starters. And so all I can say is that they did a fucking phenomenal job. I have to give it to them, especially Shakir. He was awesome. He was on his game. Touchdowns. He's just... Yeah, and especially without Kincaid or why am I forgetting the other
Coleman,
Keon Coleman.
Shakir has been like that the whole year, though. Has the most receptions out of any of the guys. But I think you're right about Mac Hollins, and Curtis Samuel had a really good game. He had 5 catches and a touchdown. Definitely his best game of the season. I think when guys are injured, it's always good that you need the lower guys to step up, and that was definitely shown, right? And Matt Collins has always been that like extra guy on like a third down, or if the Bills have to go for it on fourth down, they bring in Matt Collins, and he rarely drops the ball. So yeah, they've all been playing really good. Knox showed up, four catches for 40 yards. Everyone showed up, especially against a team like the Chiefs. Man, you have to show up, or else you're not going to win. So
I mean, yeah, and they also didn't. They just played like the Bills just outplayed the Chiefs like every kind of way. I mean, Tyler Bass needs to start fucking hitting those like extra points now and again. Like that was a little questionable. However, he did get the field goals when he needed to, which was very important for this team. So,
he was 3 for 4 on extra points and had a field goal. So.
Yeah,
I mean, he just needs. That first one was a little weird.
That one was it's scary.
He just needs to clean up a bit.
It's scary when you see we could be tied right now rather than down by 1, which we were at the.
That's what I was saying the whole time. I'm like, I swear to God, if that missed extra point costs us the game, I'm going to be so furious.
Yeah.
Right. There's been many situations where. In games, not just Bills games, but like important games and playoffs and stuff like that. Those missed extra points are costly. Towards the end of the game. So, I mean, you saw it with. I don't know if you probably didn't watch the Steelers Ravens game, but Justin Tucker, who's known as like one of the best kickers.
Oh, I did see that
in NFL history. 2 missed field goals. And he's known to hit those big time kicks, and it's your job, man. That's your job. You have to kick the field goals. You have to kick the extra points, and if you don't, you're off the field, and you can't do anything about it. It's the only reason why you're on the team is to kick the ball.
Yeah.
And if you can't do your job, then it's not a good look on you. So it's just those things you need to clean up on, but that's been happening all year with Bass. So. You can't blame him, and he also won the game a couple weeks ago against Miami, so we can let him off. So
get the win streak going now.
But I'm very happy with how this team is playing right now. Very happy. I'm glad we're going into the bye week. 2 weeks for the team to rest up and get some guys back. I'm pretty sure Coleman and Kincaid will be back for the game against the Niners in 2 weeks, which will be a fun one on Sunday night. I hope Milano comes back. He's 7 of his 21 days have passed. As I don't know what it's exactly called, but if he's not healthy in 14 days, then he's out for the rest of the year. But if he is, then he can be able to come back and play. So hopefully he can come back and join the defense. But I mean, if he doesn't, I'm not worried because this defense is playing phenomenal right now. Very good defense, and like Terrell Bernard just won Defensive Player of the Week for the AFC. With his game sealing pick, and he had a sack earlier in the game too. Like the team is looking really good right now. There's not really much to say.
It's just the only time that matters is when it's in the playoffs, and that's what's going to matter the most. This is a preview. This puts the Chiefs on their toes, man. This puts them on their toes. This gets them a little nervous. I mean, like to see that this team's they're not the only good team in the league because like Chiefs are good. They are good. 9-1.
Yeah. I don't know if they're 9-1 good. Like they should have lost a couple more games earlier, but
I mean they should be 9 or they should be 8-2 right now. Is what they should be.
Well,
that missed field goal like to win it. 2 weeks ago. That's ridiculous. Like, come on. Like that's that's Mickey Mouse shit right there. Like,
honestly, they play Carolina next week, and Carolina's not the best team in the league. If Carolina somehow wins that game, there are some serious questions to be asked about this Chiefs team.
I do not think.
No, they won't. But I think it'll be closer than what people will think. The spread on the game is -10.5 for the Chiefs, and I think the Panthers will cover that. I think it'll be closer than what people think. I think the Chiefs will probably win. I think they will win. But I think it'll be closer than 10.5 points. I think the Panthers will keep it somewhat somewhat close, and it'll be an interesting game to watch. But
I'm definitely excited. This is upcoming is what we predicted and what you predicted. I remember as being a little bit of a lull stretch for the Bills after the bye week. It's almost. Did you say 3 losses in a row?
I think I did. Yeah.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty exact right now about what my predictions were. I think I might have had them losing another game between during this 9-2 area. I think I had them losing one game. I can't remember who was against. I think it might have been against the Jets in that Monday night game, but I can't remember. But yeah, I had them at 11-6, but I had them losing 3 straight.
Okay. So
I don't see that happening right now.
Yeah. I had them losing against the Chiefs, so my record is not good. And then I had them losing against up until the Chiefs. I was 100% perfect, but the Chiefs lost, of course, and I had the Bills losing. And then the 49ers, I had the Bills losing to them, but I had them winning against the Rams and then losing to the Lions, and then against the 2 Pats games, and then losing against the Jets. I finished with the 11-6. That was my prediction.
Okay. Yeah. Right now, with how the Niners and the Rams are situated right now, I don't see the Bills losing both of those games. I think they'll come out with at least one win from those 2. Lions is going to be a tough game. That's going to kind of be like a Ravens situation where we go into their place and it's going to be fucking crazy, and it's not going to be a fun environment for Buffalo, but you never know, man. The Lions are, they're destroying everyone right now. They haven't beat a team by less than 1 score since week 5 or something. They've been dominating everyone. So I don't think the Bills are going to get done. Well, we'll wait until that game comes up, but I don't think the Bills lose 3 straight in this little stretch here. I think the Bills can pull out at least. I think they'll pull out at least 1 between the Niners and the Rams. I think one of those games they'll win. But
and what's the record right now? We've scored 30 runs in
runs
points in the last. What is it? It's got to be there's been a lot of points being scored, especially by that offense, man. That's been what's driving this.
We are the first team to beat the Bills, beating the Chiefs by 30 points. So they're the first team. So the Chiefs, this is their first time allowing over 28 points since the Eagles put up 35 points on them in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Oh,
you know how insane that is? That's pretty insane.
Crazy.
So that's a neat little stat there. I think that's 20. I think I saw it on Instagram today. It was 23 straight games without allowing 28 or more points. So there's a little stat there. But the Bills, they've already won the division. Let's be real. The Dolphins, they've got their injury sorted out. Everyone's healthy, but they're done. They've already lost twice against us. They're not coming back. That's not going to happen. Might as well just give the division to us right now.
Yeah,
might as well.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. They're not. Yeah.
There was I think I mentioned this on the pod a couple of episodes back, but the Bills could have won the division by this week if the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots all lost 3 straight and we won 3 straight, which we did. But that would have been hilarious if we won the division before our bye week. That would have been so funny.
I did not know that Odell Beckham Jr. played for the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's playing for them right now.
Is he? He's not good anymore, is he?
No, he's too many injuries and he's a big diva. There was a point where he could have been on the Bills, before he signed with Baltimore, I think. A couple years ago, but after he won the Super Bowl with Los Angeles, he could have been on the Bills. That would have been a bad idea. But yeah, this team's rolling, and they keep moving, and yeah, I got nothing else to say. They're just playing really good football. Guys just need to rest up until the Niners game, because the Niners are not. They made the fucking Super Bowl last year, so despite their injuries, they're still a good team. And McCaffrey's going to have a couple games under him coming into Buffalo. It's going to be a fun game, man. Sunday night too.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Collinsworth probably going to mention Mahomes more than he mentions Josh Allen. Yeah.
We had Tony Romo on the broadcast last.
Yeah, Nance and Romo. That's their thing. They always do the Bills Chiefs every year.
Hey, I like
that's their thing now.
That is pretty
good. That's why they don't do prime time for that game, because they leave it to those guys to do it.
Romo's good. Honestly, I
do like him. Like him. He's better than Collinsworth in terms of the whatchamacallit for Mahomes and Allen. But yeah, it's a good. Nance has always been good. He does everything. So I've never had a problem with him.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some Leafs talk. How about our Leafs, man? Let's talk about some teams that have been again, every week it's either they're doing awesome or they're doing shit. But I mean, without Matthews, they seem to be doing pretty fucking awesome, and I'm not going to complain. 2 OT wins in the last 3 days or whatever, on the 19th and the 18th. And then, you got that loss against Ottawa, which was fucking embarrassing. I don't know if we talked about that. I don't think we did.
No, we did. We did last podcast. It was just the Capitals and Oilers game that we didn't talk about. They only played 2 games since we last did the podcast. But yeah, that Capitals game was fucking awesome, man.
They're a really good team. And
they are, and Ovi is playing out of his fucking mind right now, man. He might break the record. He might break the record this year. And then he just got injured last night or 2 nights ago, so that's the problem.
Yeah,
but hopefully he comes back soon, because I want to see him break it. Even though I'm like the biggest Gretzky fanboy, I would love to see him come back and break it. But yeah, that game against Washington on Wednesday last week was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. The beginning wasn't. We were down 3-1 heading into the third, and then all of a sudden the boys decided to wake up, and they started scoring goals, and JT's winner in overtime was a fucking great goal.
It was.
The boys were buzzing in the third and overtime.
I can't help but say, yeah, it's again, as we were talking before, it's a different looking team. Mitch, Nylander, and Tavares have been carrying the load while Matthews has been gone. And then you've also got guys like Nyes who have been awesome, who have been really helpful. And the defensive core is obviously an upgrade from when fucking Glasses was the GM for the team. Why am I forgetting? Dubas. Yeah. But that's what I was talking about with my friends last night. It's like you go like 5 years of having one of like the worst, not the worst, but like a pretty bad defensive core. Like that's just not unreliable, injury prone, and just not up to par of what a Stanley Cup contending team standard should be. And now you've got players that actually show up for your team. You've got Ekman Larson, Tanev. You got Jake McCabe, who's been great, and you've also got Benoit, and then you've also got an awesome goalie, like we were talking about before. Solars continues to be fucking great, like just so reliable for the team, keeping the Leafs in the game as much as he can. So yeah, that's
the whole defensive core has been fucking great. We are consistently now letting up 3 goals a game. Last 3 games we've let up 3 goals. Hope that doesn't happen tonight against Vegas, but I can't complain. Just the team has been playing really good. Hopefully Matthews comes back. Apparently he went to Germany for something. Apparently, all players now with serious injuries go to Germany. I don't know what the deal with that is, but he went to Germany. I don't know how long he's going to be out. He's not playing this week. I don't think he's playing on Sunday either against Utah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll let you know about his timetable coming back. But honestly, I couldn't really give a shit because the Leafs are playing fucking great hockey. So
Yeah.
let's just keep it rolling.
And right now they're one game behind. They're one game behind the Florida Panthers right now in the standings. And then don't look now. The fucking Boston Bruins have. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
My buddy's a Bruins fan. Oh, he was on the podcast, Mr. Nolan Purdy.
Yeah.
I sent him a little diss text saying, "How does it feel to have your team being mid?" And then he said, "I feel like a Leaf fan." So you kind of gave it a little shot back. But yeah, they fired Jim Montgomery. I don't know what they are doing over there in Boston. Probably, Montgomery. I think he has a .650 win percentage as the Bruins coach. Same with the former one, Bruce Cassidy. They both had very good win percentages as the Bruins head coaches of the team, and they fired them very early. So
I don't know.
We'll see how that goes.
Really early. That is really early, man.
We'll see how that goes for them. Later on in the season with their interim head coach, but. People are saying that, Pittsburgh's coach, what's his name, Mike Sullivan, they might fire him, and then Boston's going to pick Sullivan up. Or they might do like a switcheroo, like Montgomery might go to Pittsburgh, and Sullivan might go to Boston. That might happen. That would be interesting to see. But yeah, Boston's not in a good spot right now. They're not in a good spot. They've lost 3 in a row.
That's what it should be.
They are minus 21 in goal differential.
Yeah,
that is not good. They have let in 69 goals, and they paid Swayman. What did they pay him? Like $8 million, $8 million a year or something like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. They pay him a big contract. They let go Allmark to Ottawa. And Ottawa's Ottawa's in the same position as Boston, and Boston's played 2 more games than them. No, I don't know.
There's a
What's
lot
his name?
Mr.
Sweeney. Mr. Sweeney, the GM.
It's always nice to not have the drama be with your team, though. So that's for once.
Yeah.
Like, it just always seems like the Leafs are a part of some drama with their head coach or.
Well, yeah, it's because they're the biggest market.
I know. NHL. I understand that, and the Boston's also a big market team.
Yeah,
they've been one of the original 6. They're supposed to be a team that wins every year and does well every year. They had the most wins in NHL history 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and I think they expected better performance. I mean, 8 and 9 it's not good for a team, but it's still early and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe something's going on in that locker room that we don't know about either.
Yeah, could very well be happening. I mean, but they signed so many. They signed Zadorov and Lindholm in the offseason. Like, you think they'd be, a solid team heading into the year, but no.
Too. It's just they're old. Like Marchand is old, man. Like, and not that he's the main reason for why they're being bad, but like. To look at it at some point, like it's one of the reasons why they're not as good. Excuse me, as they were before. So,
yeah,
it's
they definitely need to figure it out. But it's early in the season, so they don't have to worry. They don't have to worry about figuring it out too fast. But I still think it was a little early. It's kind of like the New York Jets firing their head coach so early, and then. The Jets are fucking 3-8. They suck ass, and then they just fired their GM. Aaron Rodgers is. I know we're going back to football right now, but I had to bring it up. Aaron Rodgers is single-handedly ruining that franchise. He is single-handedly ruining that franchise. Apparently now the Jets don't even want to bring him back next year.
Oh my god! What's their
apparently
deal?
They want to let him know. I have no clue, man. Both the Jets and the Giants, they're fucking clueless, man. The Bills are the only real New York team.
Yeah.
In the NFL. So, just saying. But the Jets and Giants, they have problems. their $40 million quarterback Daniel Jones is now quarterback 4 in the locker room. So yeah, they're both having serious problems with both those teams. So I'm just loving it though. I'm loving both those teams just burn to the ground. It's great stuff. Meanwhile, we're 9-2. It's good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. You know what? And now it's the thing. I guess that's what happens. There's so much pressure with these teams. You know, we do talk about team. I mean, aside from the Bills, I don't know how much of a big market team they are. They always do.
No,
well.
they're small. They're small,
but they always do well though. That's the thing, and that's the great thing about football. Is
up until 2019, they were like one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, but now it's the same thing with the Chiefs though. Chiefs up until as soon as they got Mahomes, they were not like a good team, and they're a small market team too. I feel like, right? Like,
well, not ever since Mahomes has kind of come in, and they've gone bigger. But I think Buffalo is definitely like probably bottom 5 in terms of market because Buffalo's not a big city.
No, it's not.
And it's not the best looking city either. I don't know if you've been to Buffalo before, but it's
barely even a city, bro. It's
a shithole. I'm sorry, Buffalo
people.
Whoa. There are some areas in Buffalo that are very shady. I'll say that. I won't say it's a shithole. There are some areas that are very shady. That's all I will say.
Buffalo, I always am reminded of.
There are some nice parts though. There are some nice parts, like Orchard Park, where the Bills play. That's a nice area.
Yeah. You ever do a hockey tournament in Buffalo when you were younger?
No, I didn't. No?
That was one of the highlights of my childhood for sure. Is doing the Buffalo tournament. It was
across the border. Yeah.
Yeah, it was also we were allowed to hit too because in the U.S. they have like no rules about that. So if we were house league and we could go there, they'd train it. We are allowed to like do full contact, and it was played outdoors too. So that was awesome. And then we
that's cool.
We won the tournament, and it was a lot.
Yeah,
of fun.
U.S. hockey teams suck ass, dude.
They do, man.
That's why they have no rules there. They don't know how to play the fucking game.
No, but there's some awesome American NHL players. Most of them are probably
there is, but most of the 70% of the NHL rosters are from Canada.
Yeah.
So that's all. We'll just leave it at that.
And I'll say most American NHL players have come from really, really wealthy families that can afford all of like crazy things. You think of the Hughes family, man? Like, come on now.
Oh yeah.
Just loaded. Like,
I'm not going to say nepotism, but the
Yeah,
younger brothers are
Chuck, like the Tkachuk family.
Yeah.
Like that's how your dad's a fucking.
But they're both good players, though. Matthew and
I'm not taking that away from
players.
Matthews is also another guy that's filthy rich, probably, bro. Coming from Arizona, like just like living the life and like, I want to play hockey. Like, and they're like, all right, let's spend millions of dollars on you so you can fly private jets to fucking Germany to go play and like I don't know, like.
Played in Switzerland.
Sorry. Yeah. But anyway, anything else you have to add, my friend, on the league?
No. Let's just have a good week. There's only 2 games this week again.
We got to play tonight against Vegas.
Play Vegas, and then we play our first game ever against the Utah Hockey Club, who is playing pretty good this year. They're doing okay. Actually, no, they're not doing okay. But it's basically the Coyotes, and the Coyotes are not very good. So, new city. We'll see how it goes for them.
Yeah.
But it'll be a fun time watching that team. You look interesting this year, and then next week is a big road trip against Florida and Tampa. Two important games for the division. So. Some interesting games to look forward to coming up.
Definitely. All right. Well, let's move on. And I mean, there's not much baseball to talk about. I don't think we need to talk about anything baseball related.
The Soto talks have kind of cooled down.
They have cooled down. Right now, he's just in meeting mode. I think he's meeting with the Phillies or the Dodgers. One of those.
Dude, I swear to God, I saw that one night.
It's not happening.
Like,
He's
dude.
going to the Yankees, man. He's going to the Yankees or the Mets. That's my belief. He will not go to.
If he fucking goes to the Dodgers, I'm not watching the MLB ever again.
No,
I'm not watching the MLB ever again.
It would be
if he goes to the fucking Dodgers.
It would be
that is literally the most unfair lineup in sports, dude. Next to like prime Barcelona in like 2010.
Was that when they had fucking like Ronaldo and like?
Okay, let's just steer away from soccer talk. Barcelona and Real Madrid are two completely different.
No, not that Ronaldo. Like the one with the fucking horrible haircut.
Oh, Brazilian Ronaldo. No,
I know my shit, bro.
Okay. I was just making sure. No, he played there. I don't know, late 90s.
It was when it was when Beckham was on the team. That's the only reason I know. Maybe it was a different Ronaldo.
That's Real Madrid.
Okay, then that was wrong. Yeah, okay.
Not Barcelona, but you know what I'm trying to say. There's been some
soccer talk.
There has been some stacked teams in sports, and if Soto goes to the Dodgers, it's very unfair.
I think that'd be
unfair.
I think that'd be up there with 2009 Yankees as most stacked lineup.
They'd be way past them. I don't
know, man.
They already have three MVP winners. They have Yamamoto, who didn't win Rookie of the Year this year, but he was basically the front runner, the second or third place. They have a Cy Young winner in Kershaw. They have Glasnow, who's going to come back next year. Ohtani might fucking pitch again. They might get fucking Sasaki too, who's coming from Japan. Like, how is that even fair? Dustin May too? Yeah. Like, how the fuck is that fair?
Gavin Stone, Bobby Miller.
If they figure out how to get Soto on that team, there has to be a salary cap in baseball. Like, it has to be done. It has to happen. Like, there's no reason why it shouldn't happen if they fucking figure that out.
Dude, they just defer his fucking money. Like, just defer his money. And, like...
Who knows? Yeah, they could easily do that. But, like, it's just the fact that they can pull it off and, don't get shit.
No, he's going to go to the Mets. Right? The Mets, Steve Cohen will give Scott Boras... Like, did you hear what he said? He said, I will give whatever other team is willing to pay Soto, I will give them $50 million over that. No matter what, I don't care what it is. That's how he's bidding. Like, that's how he's going.
That would be exciting, though. I'd like to see Soto on the Mets.
So would I. That'd be a win technically.
Him and Lindor on the same team would be fun.
That makes the Yankees so much more worse. Think about it. Like, they would be going back to what they were last year or 2 years ago in 2022 or 2023 when they sucked. They were like 82 and 83.
Yeah, they were basically even,
which is not good. Like, they should be a better team than that. And without Soto's done. Like, Soto was half of your team's quality last year. You have to think about that. Like, everybody else on that lineup, Stan's fucking like 80 years old. Like, you got the Gleyber Torres is a free agent. Clay Holmes, free agent. You've got all these other players. Like, you're just like DJ LeMahieu. No, Anthony Rizzo. He's a free agent. No, like you're not going to be a good team. Like, they're just not going to be a good team. You can rely on like Alex Verdugo, free agent. Not that he was that good. Sure, you got Jason Dominguez. Sure, you've got Austin Wells. Sure, you got Volpe. But, like, those are still young players, and who knows what Jason Dominguez is going to look like. Spencer Jones, yeah, he'll be good for you, but you don't know. He's still, like, in the minors. Like, you don't know. Like, your rotation consists of, Garrett Cole is good, but it's, like, Nestor Cortez, fucking, like...
Luis Gil,
Marcus Stroman sucked like in the second half of last year. Like, wasn't even on the roster for half the playoffs because he was so bad. And then Carlos Rodon, who, like, dude, we've seen him, like, we know.
Oh boy, like, absolute dog water.
Disaster. He could be a disaster again. And that contract it's not terrible. Like, he had a good year this year, but he should be better. Like, he should be better on paper. He has absolutely filthy stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think they'll be. My point is. I think as long as the Jays don't, as the Yankees don't sign Soto, that's a win for the Jays. If he goes to the Mets, even more of a win, because I just rubbing it in New York space. It's like, yeah, I love living in New York. It was so much fun. But I don't want to play for the same New York team. I want to go and play for the Mets. That'd be the biggest, poor Yankees. Not that I care. Like, they deserve it. Fuck the Yankees. They suck. Like, they're a bunch of losers in, like, come on. You blew Game 5 of the World Series. Like, that was the biggest disaster.
They blew Game 1.
They blew Game 1. They did. And but bro, people can't forget that game, bro. That was one of the worst games ever played, Game 5. That is utterly embarrassing.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Blowing a 5-0 lead. Oh my god.
If they won Game 1, it would have won at least 6. They won Game 1, I think. Yeah. At least 6 games.
Who knows? Momentum switches. Momentum, I feel, is a real thing in this. Yeah. So it would have been interesting. But let's move on. Let's move on then from baseball. Let's start talking about our top 5. Top 5 list. As movie friends and movie fanatics like we are, we wanted to do one. Ryan actually recommended this one. Top 5 movie monologues of all time. In this, we will be talking about speeches for the most part that characters are relaying to the screen, to the camera. So let's get into it, though. Ryan, you want to go first?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, this was really hard to make. This is probably the hardest one I think we've done, at least for me, to bring in 5 or, if you'd say 6 with the honorable mention. But number 1, honorable mention, I have Fortune's speech in Rudy, my favorite sports movie of all time. When he's talking to Rudy in the bleachers in Notre Dame Stadium, I think it gets me hyped up so much. It's like, he talks about himself being on the team and not being able to start a game, being a bench warmer, and then it was the final practice of Rudy's, college career, and he left it and quit the team, and he's telling him to go back because he wants him to, play for the team after, the coach got fired or coach left and stuff. And he's like, you gotta fucking keep going, man. Keep going. He's like, if I can't do it, you can do it. So he's, hyping him up and stuff. It really gets me hyped up too. And then they start playing the Rudy music, and it's just, gets me feeling a type of way. So I got that honorable mention. Number 5, this is one of 2 from this movie that I have on here. I have the Gold Watch monologue by Christopher Walken in Pulp Fiction. Just phenomenal stuff. Walken has a few of these. He has another one in True Romance against Dennis Hopper. It was hard to not put that on here either because he's just phenomenal in both of them. But I don't know, the way he comes into the scene and he's talking to the kid about young Butch, about the process of the watch going from his grandpa to his dad, and then that's great. It's just a great story, and how he acts, and the way he says it to the camera. It's just a great scene. So I got that number 5, all time great. Number 4, I think this is just on here for. It's not really a monologue, but it's like it's just iconic, and it's not long either. It's a quick scene, but it's just iconic. I have "I'm Your Father" from Empire Strikes Back. Luke, I am your father. Just the chills hearing that for the first time.
Wrong, though. It's not. It doesn't say Luke, bro. It's no.
Whatever. Yes, you get what I'm trying to say.
Are we counting this, bro? Like, it's not. You
don't want me to put it in?
One line. It's a line. Yeah,
no, he said no. He's before that line.
Join me.
He talks about he does that little spiel.
All right, yeah, I'll allow it.
I've watched the clip. It's like 2 minutes. He goes off for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
and a half. That constitutes as a monologue.
Luke's like, I'll never join you.
It's just quick. It's not really back and forth dialogue. It's just he goes off on him. If you
All
want me to
right.
change it, I can.
No, it's
I
fine.
can.
It's
I can
fine.
change it.
It's
I have lots of
fine.
options.
It works.
Okay, so we'll keep it in. But yeah, nonetheless, Empire. One of the most iconic scenes in film history. Uh, probably the biggest spoiler alert. Probably the first spoiler like big plot twist in any movie. I think.
Mm.
So I'll put that at number 4. Number 3, I have You Were Just There. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I have Good Will Hunting, the bench scene. I think Robin Williams probably his best acting ever in that 5-minute span of him talking about life and about Will's future with his lady friend and what he wants to do with his life. And I think it's just phenomenal acting. Um, well deserved. Well deserved Oscar win for that movie too. I think he just goes insane with just probably one of the most emotional scenes that I've watched in a film. And just, yeah, Robin Williams is just incredible in that. So I got to put that at number 3. I think you probably have that on your list too. At number 2, I have the opening scene in The Godfather. I mean, there's nothing more I can really say about that. Just the introduction to a character. The accent, Marlon Brando transformed into Vito, and the way he conducts himself, and with the cat and everything, like just the way he's situated in the scene, and the darkness of the office, and yeah, it's just you can't really start off a movie better than that. So
No, you can't.
it has to be number 2. And then number 1, like I said, this is the second of the 2 in Pulp Fiction, but I have Samuel Jackson with Ezekiel 25:17 when he goes off on I forgot the guy's name. Was it Brett? That's his name, Brett. That's right. He goes off on him with the big Kahuna burger, and do you speak English and what? And he's just yelling at him and going off, and yeah, that scene alone I think created Samuel Jackson what he is today as an actor. He had small parts before this, but I think this role in Pulp Fiction solidified himself as an A-lister in film. So I have to put it number 1, and it just sets the tone for the movie and what it's going to be. Just constant chaos in Pulp Fiction, and just loud and exciting stuff going on. So I have to put that number 1. Probably one of my favorite scenes ever, and just the way Samuel Jackson projects his voice is unlike anything I've seen, especially in that scene. So I gotta put that number 1. That's my list.
All right.
It was really hard though, man. There's so many good ones.
All right. In my honorable mention, I've got in season of the Christmas season, I guess I should say. In honor of the Christmas season, I have a monologue from one of my favorite films of all time. It was Christmas films of all time. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The final scene when Clark Griswold goes off on the family, calling them every name in the book, and finally ending it off with hell, I need an aspirin. So it's one of the funniest. It's one of the best Christmas movies of all time, and Chevy Chase does a great job delivering that for sure. So I think that's got to be one of my favorite. Just in the Christmas spirit and in Christmas season, I felt that it was right to put it in the honorable mention, and it's a great moment in the film when you see it. The final line is so funny. The comedic timing of it is great. The whole family watching, and you understand it. You understand that the stress of Christmas. So, yeah. At number 5, I've got Heath Ledger's monologue. How you want to know how I got these scars in The Dark Knight? The Joker, one of the greatest roles of all time, characters in any film, but especially in The Dark Knight, he did an incredible job, a very, very well deserved job, an Oscar winning job, and I think that that monologue perfectly encapsulates the character, the mystery behind him, because he switches it up too, which is, when he talks to different people, this story.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps the mystery. It's also very, very well and terrifying, like, story that he tells to scare his victims and to keep them, on their toes and afraid. I'd say that one. It's one that everybody repeats. Everybody talks about. It's, you want to know how I got these scars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So another creepy one though. At number 4, I've got Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter's
Yeah.
monologue to Clarice Sterling. It's when Hannibal Lecter, or Anthony Hopkins' character, is only in the film for about like 13 minutes. I'm pretty sure. Yet he was able to win Best Lead Actor in the film because of the presence that he has in this movie is so big, so giant in this film, and he's terrifying from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Right in that scene, that dialogue, that monologue that he has. Excuse me. Toward Clarice is just awesome. It's
The first scene, right?
scary, yes, exactly. The first scene,
Mm-hmm.
where he is in the prison cell and he's saying, "You know what you look like to me? You look like a good bag in your cheap shoes. You look like a rube, a well scrubbed, hustling rube with a little taste." Just terrifying,
Yep.
terrifying, creepy. Talking about,
His face in it is fucking unbelievable.
yeah, and you gotta talk about the shots that Jonathan Demme does, and to add to that terrifying scene. At number 3, I've got Jack Nicholson's monologue, maybe one of the best, most
Yeah.
intense monologues in a film, in Few Good Men.
I was, dude. It was on my list and I took it off.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy, and so I think it's the whole idea of what's right and wrong, what's good and bad, what's, yeah, like yin yang. That whole idea of like knowing what the right thing to do is. A Few Good
Mm-hmm.
Men encapsulates that entire monologue is at the end of the film, at the climax of the moment, so intense. The movie is so intense at that point. It's just, you're on the edge of your seat watching it. It's like a good it's like a great baseball game. It's like a great football match. It's something, that's what it feels like, just watching it go back and forth. And then of course you have that great monologue by Jack Nicholson explaining, his reasoning behind the choice to I guess taunt, or what's the word, where haze the one of the newer Marines.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be number 3. Jack Nicholson, great job. Number 2, I got from one of my favorite movies of all time in 1994. A great year for films. Shawshank Redemption. The So Was Red monologue at the end of the film,
Yeah.
where Morgan Freeman, with the man with the most beautiful voice, incredible voice, uh, talks about uh, finding his friend, meeting his friend again, the life he's living outside of prison, and what it's like. I think it's that is great, and then he's also, uh, yeah, he's just it's I think it's a beautiful just memento to, that quote that Tim Robbins, Andy Dufresne says in the beginning of the film, or in the middle of the film, "Get busy living or get busy dying." He says, "That's goddamn right for the second time in my life." You know, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just something about it makes life. It makes you think life.
Great writing, dude. It's just great writing.
It is. And finally, at number 1, switching it over from one of the most heartfelt monologues of all time, we got maybe the most badass monologue of all time. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides of the tyranny, or equal, blah, 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 whatever it is. It's awesome. It's pure Tarantino at his peak. I wouldn't say at his peak, but man, he was on the rise at that point, and he wrote one of the best. Even, it's not even his monologue per se; it's from the Bible. It's a verse, but he put it in there perfectly and created one of the best scenes in cinema history. It's repeated on television and pop culture That monologue. You see it on T-shirts. You see it on mugs. Every time I see that, you see Samuel L. Jackson, or you see, I see, I guess, every time I see a Jerry curl, basically, I think of that monologue. So, yeah, number one, most badass. It's pure film, movie making magic right there with that awesome monologue. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, yeah. I had other ones I had in the conversation were The Matrix.
Yeah.
Take the blue pill or the red pill.
Mm-hmm.
I had that one. I'm not a big fan of this movie, but the end of Blade Runner.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like Blade Runner that much, but the end is very good. I forgot the actor's name, but he has a great monologue at the end of the movie. I didn't really constitute this as a monologue, but I had Christoph Waltz at the beginning of Inglourious Bastards. I was gonna put it in, but I was like, they kind of go back and forth for a good 3-4 minutes.
I mean, he's not controlling the scene the entire time.
He is, but they talk to each other most of the time, so it's not really a monologue per se. Mm-hmm. But I had that kind of in the conversation. I could keep going on for hours for monologues, but I think next week what we might do is we might do dialogue scenes, so best back and forth, which would be interesting. So, but yeah, this was a fun one to do. Keep voting keep voting on Instagram, guys. We want to hear your opinions on who had the better lists. Let me check last week's. I think you won 2 weeks ago. Let me see who won last week with clutch hockey moments. Oh, it was a tie. It was a tie last week.
Even with my vote?
And, yeah. This guy loves to vote for himself. I don't know what it is, but he likes voting for himself. Cheating.
He doesn't. But
we'll allow it. But anyways, guys, this is a great episode. It's a great episode. Great week for our sports teams and movies. So thank you guys so much for watching. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. We are on all of it. Keep going. We're going to keep making TikToks. We've kind of been on a lull recently with that, but I'm definitely going to be making some more this week.
We're busy. We got busy.
Yeah, we are busy. This is November. It's the school time, so we got to get assignments done. But when it's December time, that's peak football. That's peak. Time when we don't have school. Football.
That's also when there's a lot of signings going on with the
free agency and MLB. So yeah, we'll definitely be on top of things in December. So hopefully we can get some content out for you in the next couple of weeks on TikTok and stuff. But yeah, just keep looking forward to it. Always the votes and the polls and Instagram for the top 5s. Keep voting for those. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.